I'm probably going to take Surprise Attack. I'm not a huge fan of it, but being able to use it if we had like a Kong or a Sea Titan or a Time Walker is all great. Hurricane is definitely a very real possibility, and maybe I should take that instead. Because it's a draw 2, it's an off-turn board clear. They can deal with overwhelming board of zero-cost champions, which is a lot more likely to happen. And Surprise Attack isn't guaranteed to be worthwhile, because I'll be focusing on taking zero-cost cards and draw 2s and stuff like that. And I've been impressed by Hurricane in the past. Unicorn's pretty solid as a 6/6 ambush off-turn ambush card that can draw a card when you play it. Better? Excellent. So yeah, we're just gonna go take Hurricane. I really like Knight of Alara if we're in Sage, because it's a great Blitz champion, so it can use as a gold punisher when your opponent spends their gold before you on your turn, which is one of the main things you're trying to do, but I think we're just gonna take Hurricane. Well, we got Sea Titan. Sea Titan's just way too incredible to pass, and that Surprise Attack would have been excellent to have to go with it, but it's still ridiculously strong on your own turn, so not that big a deal. We'll probably take Hasty Retreat. It's a very strong zero-cost card. Plague is also great, but we'll take Hasty Retreat there. So Gladius is pretty terrible. We're not going to take that because it's a slow champion that doesn't do anything immediately when it comes into play. And that's why. Go Wild is pretty good for combat tricks, stuff like that. Lurking Giant's a solid ambush card. Demon Breach is okay for threats, but Second Wind is a card that recycles itself, replenishes itself, and gains you 5 health, which can be the difference between winning and losing against a burn deck. Lindaris, similar to Gladius, is pretty bad for the same reasons. It's a slow 1-cost champion that can only be played on your turn that has no immediate effect. Battlecry is okay. I'm a big fan of Jin as an on-turn gold punisher. Forced Exile is on-turn removal that can also draw 2. Hunting Pack is one of my favorite cards. It's like Sea Titan in that it is a re-establishing card where you're able to remove a threat of your opponent and put in threats of your own. The rest of these aren't particularly amazing. I am fairly cold. Maybe I will turn this space heater after all. Demonic Rising is incredible, especially with Hunting Pack. If we had more evil, I might consider Xanos, but I don't think it's particularly good in Dark Draft. Just because I don't want to be forced into taking a lot of evil, and yeah, that's the main reason. Spins to draw 2 can be removable. Well, let's pick this first. Temporal Shift is fine. Off-turn fast removal, not amazing. White Knight's okay if you have loyalty. Sonic Assault's okay. Greetings, Smurf HST. Ooh, excellent. So Shadow Imp is a very solid 0, especially if you are a Sage deck. Juggernaut's a great on-turn play. Temporal Enforcer is very tempting as an off-turn play that is also removal. Quill's very strong as well, but we'll go. Alright. Ooh, Velden. Great re-establishing card, great blitzing champion. It's Sage. We're kind of in Sage. Very powerful card. Great way to spend your gold either before or after your opponent. If we could get a Rage or Lash to go with that, that'd be even better. Marcus is okay, but we don't have loyalty. Reset's pretty strong. Pyromancer's pretty strong. This is a pretty bad pack. Steeled Golem is a solid card, but we already have 4 slow champions, so we don't really want another one. But since they're all slow champions, that's what we're gonna get. We can probably hit Loyalty for Angel of Death, just because we draw, we generally want a lot of card draw, and I generally take a lot of evil. Wait, what we wanted? Cool, we got what we wanted anyway. So this is a great pack for us. Zero cost cards that recycle are very, very strong. They're both Sage. Spore Beast is incredible if we have Wild, but I generally take the least amount of Wild. Rampaging Worm is solid if we had Rage or Lash, and it's okay on its own, but we want the zeros much more. We don't want another slow card, otherwise we'd probably take the Gudgeon. Slow card being a 1-cost champion that doesn't have Ambush. We don't have a ton of 1-cost evil cards that could trigger Spawning Demon. I think we're a little low on card draw, so that's why we're taking that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Actually, we're not. Oh, right, I forgot. Hopefully it gave me the card I wanted. There are some really bad cards in here for us, namely Skaro, since we don't have much Wild loyalty. Alright, cool. So they might have added that where it selects the card that you have selected if you miss. No Escape is solid, Banishment is solid, No Escape can get back our zeros. We don't have loyalty or ally triggers for the other two cards. Draw cards, on turn removal, draw a card. So we don't currently have a mass discard pile banish, which isn't absolutely necessary. This is a bit tough. Warrior Golem is great because it's a 0-cost blitzing Sage champion. Deadly Raid is particularly good with our Steel Golem and Sea Titan though. Yeah, that's a tough one. If I had more time to think about it, I might have gone to the Deadly Raid, but... Ooh, Ice Strike is great. Misguided Herald is better than it usually is, just because we do have so many 1-cost cards. 1-cost champions. We'd really love to hit Sea Titan, Juggernaut, Jhin, Veldin, pretty much. Yeah, it's another slow champion which we don't want, but it changes us into a slow champion, hopefully. So Priestess is the only 0, we don't have a lot of 1-cost good cards to trigger it, so it's not that strong. Noble Martyr is okay, but we don't have a lot of 1-cost cards to trigger it, so it's not that strong. Force Field's okay, but Wave of Transformation can answer literally anything, so it's really, really good. I have not been paying as much attention to what I've been passing Epic Agenda as I should be, but we just got 2 great cards. Time Walker is great for replaying our Sage cards to either recycle again or draw more cards, or blitz with them again. Standalone's a draw 2, that's great with our Sea Titan and stuff like that. Let's see... Doesn't look like I've been passing very many great cards to our opponent, which is pretty good. Oop. Roxas Curse. Possibly the best card in Dark Draft. It removes a 0-cost card and gives you your own threat, or a draw 2. Guild Demon is also great. Our deck is way too aggressive to want Soul Hunter. Rain of Fire would be okay, but Roxas Curse is basically, you see it, you draft it. Oof, this pretty sucks. Winged Death is a strong card, but we have so many 1-cost slow cards. We didn't pass that much burn, but Inner Peace is okay. We don't have any 1-cost good cards to get back with Avenging Angel. Oof, this is... yeah, that was not a good choice. We didn't have good things to choose from. Ooh. We might just keep this entire hand. We probably want to get rid of Banishment, just because we're looking for an off-turn play. So our opponent's going first, so we can either Temporal and Shift. I like Angel of Mercy, not really, but we just didn't have the 1-cost good cards to get back from it to make it worthwhile. So our opponent's going first. We'll either play Temporal Shift or Hunting Pack, or nothing if they play nothing, and then we'll go to Juggernaut on our turn. If we're feeling risky, we could get rid of Djinn of the Sands. Since we don't actually have a draw 2, I think I will. It's possible I get rid of Temporal Shift as well. No, I'm fine with these two. So hopefully we'll hit another Sage card for Juggernaut Loyalty. Yeah. Alright, this is much better. Having Rux's Curse is great for us as either a draw 2 if we absolutely have to, or just an incredible card. Alright. I'm fine with hunting packing this and then just getting ahead on the board so we can start attacking our opponent. They're significantly further ahead of us in card advantage, but we have our Juggernaut and 3 wolves, so we can just attack and pass. So, for new players, we're attacking first before playing our Juggernaut, just so we have the greatest chance of getting the 6 damage from our wolves to hit our opponent before they spend their gold. Because if they spend their gold before us, if we spend our gold before them, they're significantly, ooh, that's really good for us, more likely to have an answer if we spend our gold first to our entire board. Since we waited to spend our gold, we'll now get the 6 damage from the wolves through, and the 9 damage from the Juggernaut through. So we're in pretty good shape. We're in pretty great shape, actually. So I think we're going to hold the Temporal Shift so he doesn't know about it. Yeah, since I don't think I care that much if he knows I have 2 Recycle 0 cost champions. So we do have Warrior Golem now that we could play after this if we wanted to try and get 4 more damage through. I'm not going to do that because our board is very much scary enough as is that our opponent is likely to do a board clear or something in response to us. So we don't want to just trade a card for 4 damage. Granted, it would recycle itself, but we have other things that we want to recycle with. So I could just Temporal Shift that, but I think I want to draw some cards, which unfortunately means we have to use up our Rux's Curse. Yep. But that's fine. So we have options here. We could just go ahead and Bitten that Pyromancer and potentially get this 6 damage through. Or we could get 4 damage through, lose a wolf, play our Citadel Golem, and then Warrior Golem, and then hold our gold, and I think that's what we're going to do. We get damage through, we stay reasonably ahead on board, and have a strong... Our threat on board is very strong, while also maintaining our gold. So we'd be able to respond with Bitten or Hurricane if we have to. I could also just play Warrior Golem or just play Ogre Mercenary. Just Warrior Golem is possibly good enough. I don't know if we ended up passing the Quell or not. I'm not going to play the Citadel Scholar just because I'm not sure if we pass the Quell. And I don't want to get myself too hit by a Quell, because that would hurt quite a bit if we got quelled with that board. And if our opponent just takes this, we'll probably just pass. Because we're getting damage through, our opponent isn't that threatening on board. We don't want to give them a free opportunity to become more threatening on board or draw more cards. I don't think our opponent has Quell because I think it was burned, i.e. it was passed to us in a pack. But if they do have it and they use it here, we can just respond with Citadel Scholar into Ogre Mercenary into probably Hurricane draw 2. Alright. Yeah. If I would have played Citadel Scholar first, they might have hit my Citadel Scholar instead, which wouldn't have been great for me. So what do we want back? I forgot to keep track of what my opponent recycled. I might go back and do that in a second. Getting Juggernaut back would be good, getting Warrior Golem back would be good. I think we'll just do it like that. Ooh, Shadow Imp. Yeah, we're gonna play both Ogre Mercenary and... no we're not. We don't have enough cards to recycle. I think we'll just play Citadel Scholar then. Alright, me, Jug. Warrior Golem. Warrior G, right. Curse H-Pack. Our opponent recycled... Ooh, Misguide Herald's pretty solid. Amnesia and the Gudgeon. So because we drew Misguide Herald, I'm very tempted to actually just play Shadow Imp Attack into Misguide Herald. But I think we're far enough ahead on the board that I'm not going to. If our opponent will probably attack. If he does, we just go to our turn, attack for 6 damage, and race him with a 9 health lead. A play we could make if our opponent spends their gold first and then attacks on like a War Machine is play our Shadow Imp, block with that, temporal shift the other thing that's not attacking, get back our Shadow Imp, so we effectively stop both attacks, remove something from the board. Surprise attack seems fairly desperate, since this is the enemy's turn. Ah, you want to play Memory Spirit, get that back. Unfortunately, he can kill our guy before he can do anything about it. Yep. I think I am just going to play Ice Drake here and expend his board. And then we can threaten 10 damage with Shadow Imp follow-up. Yep, let's do that. So we're showing Ogre Mercenary since we showed that in the past. We know our opponent has a surprise attack. Oh no, he got back Flame Spike, that's fine. And I think I'll show Misguide Herald. Alright. So we're attacking with Ice Drake first, because it's our most evasive champion. So if our opponent has something like Helion or Turn that can steal one of our champions, we want to make sure they can't steal our evasive champion and use it to block one of our other champions. Transform, okay. And I think we are just going to Shadow Imp Misguide Herald, because we could hit our Steel Golem, which would be incredible. Possibly just win us the game. Return Shadow Imp to hand in case we need it for loyalty. So we could get either Sea Titan or Avenging Angel. I think I like the Avenging Angel. We definitely don't want to get Time Walker since all of our stuff is tokens and that would just kill them. And I think I want to get the damage through right now, in case our opponent board clears on their turn. So yeah. And we know they can't have Fumble. Oh wait, they played Fumble. So that must be in their discard pile as well. Banish cards. Yeah, there it is. Fumble and Surprise Attack. Not sure the order. It must be Fumble next because he recycled with it. So yeah, this is going very well for us so far. Our opponent has to do something. That's not particularly helpful for them. If I had another threat, I might play it, but I don't. I think I'm going to stand alone to draw 2, because removing either of those isn't particularly valuable. No, I think I'm going to. What do they have? They could get back a Flame Spike, that's not good for me, so I don't really want to bounce the Memory Spirit. Yeah, I'm just going to draw 2 cards here, increase our options for later. That's not bad. Our opponent can attack us even if they wanted to, but they probably don't, because we have Avenging Angel up. Hopefully that discard means they just have a ton of... Whew, that could have been bad if I hit that. Means they just have a ton of slow cards and they aren't trying to set up for an Army of Apocalypse, but that's not that scary even if they were. So we're attacking with Avenging Angel first, just in case our opponent has a steal effect like Helion or Turn. They'll probably block there, which is fine. They might have like a Brave Squire to kill it, but that's fine. Go wild, yep. They just recycled 2 cards. What were they? Knight of Alara Flame Spike. Okay. Yep. We potentially have lethal with the 3 damage from this, 2 damage from Shadow Imp, 3 damage from Fireball. So we're not going to spend resources just to keep our... just so Memory Spirit dies. So we get 2 attacks through with the Wolf token, so this is still fine. We can finish off with Fireball by itself. We don't need to protect our Misguide Herald as repeatable damage if we're just going to win this turn. Hopefully he doesn't have the loyalty for this. Ah, that's annoying. Alright, he revealed what cards? White Knight and Lord of the Arena. He still has his gold, but he's up to 12 now. there's a decent chance we just Hurricane after we get all of our attacks through, since our opponent is significantly ahead on board now. And then we re-establish with Ogre Mercenary. Yeah, I think so. And we'll pass without playing the Ogre Mercenary because our opponent will probably spend their gold on something. We don't want to give them a target for, like, some form of removal. Sure. Did he just draw one card from that? No, drew two. Good. Alright. We'll go Hurricane Misguide. Oops. Okay. And we don't want to bother using our Shadow Imp when we can't recall it, especially since we are still ahead on board. That's fine. We're just going to Temporal Shift that away. Lash is a bit annoying. Yeah, all of our other ones are on turn removal. We could draw cards, but I'd rather just reset the board. And then since the board is empty, we probably will just Shadow Imp attack. What do they discard? What did they discard? Oh right, it was got banished. Alright. That's a worthless card for us when we're so far ahead in health. We really need threats, which we just don't have right now. I'd happily no escape to get back my Ogre Mercenary if our opponent tries to play a champion. Or I'd happily draw cards with Wave of Transformation if our opponent spends their gold on something that's unimpactful. But since they did nothing, we're going to do nothing. One thing we do have to be aware of, though, is we do not have a way to massively discard cards from our opponent's deck. So drawing out is a real problem that we have to watch out for. If our opponent draws through their entire deck, they win the game. Pretty heavy and good, interestingly enough. Angel of Light is super obnoxious for us. Hopefully he plays it, though. Alright, cool. Now we can no escape that. Get back the Ogre Mercenary. Since it is our turn. Although this does mean that we weren't able to recall our Shadow Imp. We'll do Temporal Shift and no escape. Ooh, that's a threat. Alright, if our opponent spends their gold first now, without a champion in play, or something that can die to Fireball, we do have a strong punish. So, as I'm going, since I'm speaking fairly quickly, feel free to ask for clarification on anything that I'm doing, or if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I am conscious of my timer on the left. Have not played the app in a while. What does the timer do? Is there a turn limit now or something? So the timer, if you run out of time, you lose. Oh, nope. Alright, cool. The Gudgeon. Alright, he is through his deck now. So we know he has Fumble, Surprise Attack. Although he went through more cards with that. We want to draw cards. I think I'll just use Forced Exile or Bitten. I'll use Bitten, I think. Alright, we got some action now. Doesn't look likely that will hit Angel of Death Loyalty, but oh well. We did not see a Final Task or a Necromancer Lord from our opponent, so getting rid of that isn't that big a deal. They did burn past their Amnesia, so I don't have to worry about recycling before I'm no longer able to do it. If our opponent does nothing, we'll probably play a Second Wind. Do we want to recycle? I don't know. I think this targets player, right? Yeah. I guess we're just letting him trade. I don't want to use my Fireball on that. Yeah, we'll play Second Wind after all. I might use my Fireball on it. Yeah, I think maintaining that source of damage is worthwhile. Trade our 0, especially since we have so many cards in hand. So at that point I valued my Fireball high enough to actually use it in the situation where I want to force my opponent to spend a gold to deal with my board as opposed to just using a 0. Alright, this is pretty good for us. Yep. So we have two options here. We could Forced Exile, and I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to do. Or we could let our Ogre Mercenary die and then follow up with Veldin. I think I like Forced Exile since I haven't seen... I don't think we saw that many board clears from our opponent. Maybe a Plague. Although, if we play Veldin, we get back our Shadow Imp, and then that's a significantly bigger threat in play. Maybe I do like that better after all, actually. That's a tough one. I definitely don't want to play Banishment because I don't need more cards in hand. So it's either Forced Exile or Veldin. I think I like Veldin. Oh, I like them both. Well, it's easier to use Veldin, I think. But this is also one of our few draw 2s. He has... This is more likely to deal damage. Yeah, I don't know if this is right, but... The ultimate factor is it's significantly easier, I think, to play Veldin if we can get our opponent's gold to go down, even if they don't, than it is to play Forced Exile, although I can use it to draw 2. This does force us to use Wave of Transformation or Hasty Retreat as card draw. Yeah, I'm still not sure if that was right. How much is it? 30? Timer? I don't remember offhand. It's either 15 per person or 20 per person. Dang it, there goes Shadow Imp. Maybe. Ah. There's a decent chance we just play Veldin first. Maybe I keep Wave of Transformation and use Hasty. I don't think I'll be using Hasty anytime soon. Yeah. Ooh, there's Juggernaut. But we're very low on off-turn plays right now. Valuable ones. That's a really good draw. So we'll attack with one human first. This probably gets through unless he wants to use one of his guys to block it, which I doubt he will. Oh, okay. This human definitely gets through because he wants to save his blue dragon to block Ogre Mercenary. And I think we will attack with Ogre Mercenary before playing the Warrior Golem. Oh! Was not expecting that. Interesting. Is he just playing a guy here? If he is, I'll definitely go with lethal. Go for lethal, yep, okay. With play Warrior Golem, attack with it, and then follow it up with Veldin. So all of my guys are Blitz champions. He has Fumble. So we might want to play Warrior Golem and Steel Golem instead. We'll show Wave. And he should know about Juggernauts. He could also have his Guilt Demon back. Yeah, if he has his Guilt Demon back, I'm willing to just get fumbled to clear the board. We're in no rush. He has 18 cards. We have tons of time. We'll probably get fumbled here, and that's fine. Steel Golem could potentially win us the game, but we're so far ahead in everything. I think just playing it safe here is correct. Because if we played Steel Golem and he had the Guilt Demon to block it, then we'd be staring down an 11-11 and a 6-4. On our opponent's turn, if they just play Blue Dragon to kill our Warrior Golem, unless we recycle into something better with Warrior Golem, we are just going to Banishment the Blue Dragon. So our Veldin can immediately go face on our turn to an empty board. And the card draw to our opponent when they have so many cards in hand is essentially meaningless. Not completely, but essentially. But we're in amazing shape. Yep. We want to get the Fireball back to deal damage. We want to get Shadow Imp back for the sit. We also need card draw. So we'll do Second Wind into Warrior Golem, actually, I think. Yeah, I think so. Roxas Curse is excellent. So we're banishmenting that, as I said. Our opponent has no board, they drew a card, that's fine, their hand is overflowing. Our Velden attacks on an empty board. We have Roxas Curse Protection in case they play a Blitz, in case they play an Ambush 0. And then we have 3 different on-turn gold punishers that we could follow up with. Probably Juggernaut. Because we know he's already used his fumble. We know he doesn't have hasty retreat. So there's no good zero cost answer to Juggernaut. Man, I'm so bad at using my deck 2 tracking. I need to get better at that. And we know he has in his deck Rescue Griffin, the 3/7 Ambush 0, Guilt Demon, the 3/2 Ambush 0. Alright, what's all? Yep, that's fine. Alright. And we got Hunting Pack back. Alright. So we don't have anything particularly great coming up anytime soon. But we will definitely have to save Wave of Transformation as a draw 2. Since we're using Rex's Curse to get through a potential zero-cost ambush blocker. Arcane Research, alright. There's Guilt Demon. None of those cards are particularly amazing and necessary to keep track of on our sheet. We got a lot more strong cards than our opponent, it seems. We know... Oh, Priestess, interesting. There's Brand. He probably needed it for the loyalty, but this is fine. Still threatening 10. Kind of wish I had recycled that fireball now. Memory Spirit, alright. Fumble, yeah. That's annoying. We could Hunting Pack that, but I don't think it's worth it. If he just blocks here as opposed to fumbling, we'll let it happen, and then we'll play our Steel Golem. Since it can't be fumbled, and there's no board from our opponent this time, he needs an Ambush 0, or else he just dies. Alright, we got him. Good game, Epic Agenda. And that's what, part of the reason why we never revealed the Steel Golem, so we would feel safe behind his fumble. Because he knew I had a lot of Blitz Punishers, but he didn't necessarily know I had an untargetable one.